In 2025, U.S. tourism will experience a sharp decline, but no one is aware of this. There are no protests, nor is there a major crisis making headlines. Everything is happening quietly. Silence can now be felt in the streets. New York's lights may still be shining. But where are the crowds walking those streets? Cities once bustling with international visitors are now empty. Tourists don't just leave money behind. They bring stories, carry memories, and build bridges. As people come, the streets come alive, galleries thrive, and restaurants bustle. But in 2025, those bridges have been destroyed. This year alone, the U.S. tourism industry could lose $90 billion. The U.S. is slowly losing its connection with the world. And this isn't just about passport control. It's about emotions, trust, and perception. In this video, we explore 8 compelling reasons why international tourism is turning its back on the U.S. The first reason will surprise you. Don't forget to like and subscribe before we begin. Let's get started. Number 8. $90 billion loss. The estimated loss in international tourism revenue by 2025, $90 billion. And this is an optimistic estimate. This isn't just about lost money, for it's about lost hope, lost future, lost workforce, and lost stories. Because international visitors have disappeared. Thousands of people from New York to Las Vegas are now staring at empty tables and empty seats. And the consequences are severe. Hotel staff are being laid off. Tour guides have returned home. Waiters, drivers, and cleaners are struggling to make ends meet. The entertainment industry, trade show organizers, and local tour companies have come to a standstill in a domino effect. Yes, you heard that right. Disney World is closed 3 days a week. The entire cruise season in Alaska has been canceled. Service companies in Orlando have shut down. A 40% vacancy rate in San Francisco has left a dark stain on tourism history. This collapse has not only affected hotels, but also advertising agencies, event organizers, and logistics companies. A chain reaction of collapse is unfolding. When a country's tourism engine grinds to a halt, it's not just the economy that falls silent. Stories fall silent too. And right now, that silence is echoing across every corner of America. Number 7. Travel decisions based on fear. Going on vacation no longer feels like a vacation. You might be wondering what that means. At the airport, you are searched, questioned, and treated like a suspect. While tourism is an experience built on comfort at the U.S. borders, this experience is replaced by stress and uncertainty. In 2025, 2 German youths were sent back without being allowed to enter Hawaii. A couple from Australia was detained for hours at San Diego Airport. British forums are filled with warnings. Prepare all your documents. They treat you like a criminal at the border. Families are hesitant to send their children on exchange programs. Retirees are avoiding connecting flights. Travel insurance now charges extra for the U.S. Travel freedom has given way to travel uncertainty. Coming to America is no longer just about passport control. This pressure, carried out in the name of security, casts a shadow over the country's freedom image. And people are now changing not only their routes, but also their values. If you've experienced something similar, share it in the comments. You can be a guide to others. Number 6. Canada falls silent. Flights from Canada to the U.S. have decreased by 72%. This is not just a number. It's a message. Conferences are canceled. Canadian healthcare workers are being warned not to use their equipment in the U.S. Border towns are emptying out. In Point Roberts, store shelves are empty, and the real estate market has frozen. Canadians, who were once the most frequent international travelers to the U.S., are now choosing to stay home or go to other countries. What were once spontaneous shopping trips have now become calculated risky moves. This is not a political protest. It is a personal choice for safety and comfort. And these choices, though not spoken aloud, leave deep marks. The weakening of economic ties is eroding cultural bonds as well. Despite being America's closest neighbor and trading partner, this distancing is sounding alarm bells. Do you think this is a temporary reaction or the beginning of a permanent fracture in Canada-America relations? Number 5. Political chaos. Another reason is the constant changes in American travel policies. Today, visas are issued. Tomorrow, the criteria change. Agencies make conflicting statements. Even consulates have different practices. A French tour operator says, We used to bring 3,000 tourists every year. Now, not even 300. This conflicting environment affects not only tourists, but all international businesses operating in the United States. This uncertainty affects both individual travelers and large organizations. Airlines are canceling flights, and companies are changing their routes. Tourism requires trust. Is the U.S. truly providing that trust right now? Number 4. Image. Eroding. America used to be a dream destination that everyone wanted to visit. Has that dream turned into a nightmare? Reddit, YouTube, TikTok comments all share a common feature. It made me feel tense. Yes, we've said this before. Tension has many causes, especially border searches. Additionally, Japanese tourists are now turning to Europe instead of America. Furthermore, Brazilian influencers are no longer choosing the US. A country's culture is its greatest advertisement. But this new cultural climate filled with conflict and polarization is perceived as repulsive from the outside. Soft power is built not on strength, but on sympathy. That sympathy is being lost. Furthermore, negative news in the media, viral events on social media, and aggressive rhetoric on the political stage are damaging the country's image of hospitality. Image is shaped not only by PR efforts, but also by human experiences, and those experiences no longer seem positive. Number 3. The direction has changed. What does this mean? Another reason for the decline in tourists is the shift in direction. Yes, you heard that right. Countries like Thailand, Portugal, Vietnam, and Mexico are breaking records. Tourism investments are increasing, and hotel chains are expanding. Digital nomad visas, tax advantages, and digital infrastructure are attracting new tourists. Vietnam reports a 30% increase in tourists from Europe. Portugal has doubled its hotel infrastructure. The US, however, is cutting its tourism budget during this period. So, while opportunities are emerging, it wouldn't be wrong to say that America is turning a blind eye. Tourism isn't about loyalty. Accessibility, peace of mind, and safety win the day. Any country without future-oriented plans will fall behind in the competition. What do you think the US should do to increase tourism? Number 2. The decline of quiet towns. Large cities can survive a crisis. Alternative income sources, diverse sectors, extensive infrastructure. However, things are not so easy for small towns. By 2025, rural tourism centers in the U.S. have fallen into silence. International bookings at Vermont's ski resorts have dropped to their lowest level in 20 years. Visitor numbers at national parks like Zion and Bryce Canyon in Utah have halved. Additionally, a whale-watching company that had been operating in Maine for 35 years closed its doors in July. In eastern Tennessee, family-run inns that have been vacant for 3 years are no longer even for sale. There are no buyers. This is not just an economic collapse, but a social one. Town festivals are being canceled. Outdoor concerts cannot be held. Street performers are moving to big cities because they can't find an audience. Cultural life is emptying out, just like storefronts. As towns become more isolated, the sense of belonging is fading. Tourists bring not just money but excitement, curiosity, and a new perspective. When they leave, the streets grow quiet. And this collapse is the most painful because it progresses unnoticed. When towns collapse, they don't make headlines. But for those who live there, it is a loss felt every day. Number 1. The collapse of soft power. Every tourist brings not only foreign exchange, but also experiences. Every detail they see, hear, and feel. Every photo they share on social media. Every memory they recount upon returning home. All of these contribute to a country's soft power. But in 2025, this chain broke for the US. According to UNWTO's first quarter 2025 data, international tourist visits to the US are at their lowest level in 15 years. The number of tourists from Europe has decreased by 32%. Visits from Asia have dropped by 41%. This is not just a number, it is a cultural silence. Tours at Los Angeles Airport have been canceled. San Francisco guide associations are collecting donations to stay afloat. 60% of guided tours at New York museums have been canceled. So if there are no tourists, there are no storytellers. If there are no storytellers, there are no stories. Soft power spreads not only through film and music exports, but also through the experiences of visiting tourists. But what is the experience of tourists in America right now? Visa hassles, security fears, high costs, and cultural disconnect. All of this makes it difficult to say, "I went to America and it was wonderful." By 2025, the US has become a country that cannot tell its story to the world. When people can't find something to tell, they don't find it worth asking. The decline of soft power begins like this, quietly and unnoticed. Conclusion. These events are not limited to canceled flights, visas that cannot be obtained, or empty hotels. They are also a reflection of a period in which a country's image in the outside world, its cultural influence, and its national identity are being reshaped. Because tourists don't just come to see the sights. People seek meaning. They want to connect. They want to feel safe and experience a culture authentically. However, America is no longer just expensive. It is now seen as unpredictable, cold, and distant. 2025 is not just a bad season. Perhaps it is the year America will ask itself the real question: who wants to visit us? At this point, silence is frightening, because when a country remains silent, its story begins to be told elsewhere. And a country that is not told about is eventually forgotten. It is in our hands to rewrite this story in our own words. If what we've shared resonates with you, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and write "I'm still hopeful" in the comments. Because sometimes a country's story begins anew with just one person. Perhaps that person is you.